Kia ora koutou. Ko Angela Caves tōku ingoa. Nō mai, haere mai. Welcome to the Tairāwhiti Business Growth and Support Virtual Conference. My name is Angela Caves and I'm the Partnerships and Events Lead for Digital Boost. It's my pleasure to be hosting you over the next few days. Welcome to our audience who are joining us here in the webinar and to those who are joining via a live stream on either Facebook, LinkedIn or YouTube. This is afternoon number one of our conference. Our conference is 3 days. We've got 3 afternoons full of sessions for you from organisations sharing the breadth of support that is available to the Tairāwhiti business community. This is session 4 today. We're joined by Te Puni Kōkiri. I'll introduce our presenters shortly, and I'd also just like to make mention that on the webinar today we have got our collaborating partner from Connected, Robin Barker. Robin is an employment liaison advisor, and Robin, you'll see her later in the session when she collates all the questions that come through from you all. For those of us joining in the webinar, you can see and hear us, but we cannot see nor hear you. So if you would like to interact with us, if you've got any questions at all, please feel free to use the Q&A function or use the chat function, and we'll be keeping an eye on that throughout the session, and then we'll ask those towards the end. Our sessions are being recorded and will be uploaded to a YouTube playlist, so you'll be able to rewatch the session if you need to, and this will be distributed to all registered attendees. It is now my pleasure to welcome Hera from Te Puni Kōkiri. Welcome, Hera. It's lovely to have you here this afternoon. We're looking forward to hearing all about the support that you guys are offering to the Tairāwhiti business community.
Kia ora, Angela, and thanks very much for hosting this awesome event for the Tairāwhiti business community. Tēnā koe.
Feel free to jump in, share screens, and we'll get you underway. Perfect, that's looking great.
O kia ora tātou, ka nui te mihi kia koutou katoa. Ko Hera Kātipa ahau, ko Hikurangi te maunga, ko Waiapu te awa, ko Ngāti Parau te iwi. Kia ora koutou. Thank you once again, Angela and the Connected team for hosting this event. And I really appreciate the opportunity to share with our local Tairāwhiti community the support available through Te Puni Kōkiri, the Ministry for Māori Development. I am speaking to you as a kaimahi in particular of the Pākehī Māori Enterprise Service. Pākehī Māori Enterprise is one part of many services and support provided by Te Puni Kōkiri, the Ministry of Māori Development. Our ultimate aim as a government agency is to see whānau Māori thriving and enterprising and improving in their well-being and socio-economic situations. So kia ora. One further thing, the Ministry of Māori Development, our key role is as the principal advisor to government on the achievement of great outcomes for Māori across the public sector. So this is one small part of many things that the Ministry of Māori Development do. Kia ora. So I want to now focus in particular on the Pākehī Māori Enterprise Service. Our role within Te Puni Kōkiri and in the Tairāwhiti community, business community, is that of providing Pākehī Māori with a specialist service targeting in particular Māori small to medium enterprises, or SMEs. Those enterprises, of course, it is assumed, have a willingness and an ability to grow their business. This is our particular target group. Who do we support? Is my next slide. Our support, our key support is our investment fund called the Māori Business Growth Fund. And again, it targets Māori enterprises to grow and in the future be sustainable. However, we do support any Māori-owned business or individual who is looking for general guidance, advice or information. We do also provide support to all those starting out in business, right from having an idea right through to the high growth, high value businesses. And this slide here just contains some photos of some of the whānau, some of the enterprises that we've dealt with, or I've dealt with since I've been in this role with Te Puni Kōkiri. Yes, and you'll see there our Minister Jackson featuring in that second picture there. So as I've mentioned before, we do support Māori businesses right from in the initial stages of business development. And this slide here identifies, I guess, 3 types of categories that we support and how we support. So in the early stages of business, when a whānau or individual may give Te Puni Kōkiri a call or make contact to assist with how they might get started in business, we would also provide some planning advice, and we do that through a number of ways. One key one is through the one-to-many coaching or training or networking events, which we do many of. So throughout those events, we may provide some specialist training by an accountant or business advisor on different aspects of getting started in business. But the true value in the one-to-manys is the networking, the sharing of advice, and the support that individual businesses get through those types of forums. In the second instance there, this identifies another group of business owners, or those in the early stages of business, who are just looking to get their systems in place, consolidate their finances, their marketing, and that's a group of people that we would look to support through our business growth fund with one-to-one support. And in that scenario, we work with the business to identify what their particular needs are and how how best to resource them in terms of recruiting or getting some specialist advice and to help them look at getting things solidly in place and looking to grow their business. The third category there is, again, it's a one-to-one support that we would provide through our business growth fund, and that's where a business is looking to grow and expand and maybe take it even further in the future to exporting. Again, it's a similar scenario. We will work with the business to assess their needs, look at their growth targets, and then help them to bring in the service provider or the resource they need in order to do that, to go that next step. So this next slide really speaks to the process of getting the support, actually going through, I guess, our application process. And the first point there is that our Te Puni Kōkiri Business Growth Fund is open all year round. The funding that's provided is generally fully funded. And important things for applicants to remember is that we would be looking at the business's long-term vision and a bit ambition to grow their commercial enterprise. Those are, it's one part of the many attributes that is essential to being in business. The second point there is about being prepared to and committed to putting in a lot of time and starting, growing and expanding a business, putting in time, putting in your own money. And the third key point there is to be mindful of is that the business concerned does have a product or service that's fairly unique and is competitive in the marketplace. So those are just some key attributes, I guess, that we would consider when having a kōrero with you about your goals and your long-term aspirations for your businesses. Through this fund, just to sum up, what we support is we enable a Māori business to get the specialist support that they require at that time to grow and increase productivity and profit. And just a note there also that these funds are not or do not include capital expenditure. We really appreciate that many businesses starting out are looking for capital, for startup, for capital equipment and those sorts of things, but we do not fund those particular items. So I thought I'd just add in there, give a bit of an overview of some of the projects that we do support through the Te Puni Kōkiri Māori Business Growth Fund. So in the two categories there, The examples I've given there for a one-to-many or group support scenario is, first of all, we supported Tony Newport Henderson and the business pop-up school to come into Tairāwhiti, and probably a number of years ago now, but the business pop-up school provided a 2-week startup training program it was pretty intensive, but Te Puni Kōkiri was one of a number of other agencies to support that initiative through our Business Growth Fund. In terms of the one-to-many group support, again, we've, Te Puni Kōkiri have supported a local trades collective to look at how they might come together, what sort of a legal structure they could look at to join forces and position themselves better for a number of opportunities emerging through the building and construction industry. And we've also supported in the past a growers collective up on the East Coast to come together and look at how they might arrange themselves in partnership, and look at the to get some support, specialist support, legal support in order to do that. So those are just some examples of the one-to-many group support that we've provided. In the one-to-one direct business support locally, again, we've supported a local e-commerce online business with their marketing and with their financial forecasting. So we provided them with resource to bring in a marketing expertise and some financial expertise to help them have a look at those components. We've supported a wellness centre also to look at their marketing and get some more intensive coaching around their financial systems. And the third example there is we've also supported a little whānau business up in the East Coast to consolidate their business systems and their marketing around their beekeeping and honey production enterprise. So those are just some examples of, I guess, the range of businesses and commercial enterprises that we work with, and I'm pleased to say that those businesses have benefited considerably from that input from Te Puni Kōkiri. This next slide, just quickly, I thought it might be a good big picture overview of Te Puni Kōkiri and how we're arranged around the country. So we've got 6 regions, and of course you can see Eke Rōrāwhiti, Gisborne, Tairāwhiti community where we're located, but we have a national team of Māori Enterprise Advisors, which is what I am, my role, and we are operating in all of those business communities around Aotearoa. And just to just to wind up the presentation, and no doubt there will be questions and maybe interest to get further information about, if not Māori business growth or Māori enterprise support, certainly some of the other areas that we do support with funding and also with advice. So there, if you'd like to get in contact with myself, those are my contact details, email and mobile. And I've also provided the telephone number there for the, it's an 0800 number for the regional, Tairāwhiti regional office. So those are our contacts, and you can get in contact with me there. And also down the bottom there, there's also the link to our Te Puni Kōkiri website, for which you'll find Māori enterprise listed in the various support sections provided on the website. But just in finishing, please get in contact with Te Puni Kōkiri, with myself, even though you may think that you perhaps don't fit into any of the categories or that I've identified there. Please get in contact anyway, and it's always good to have a kōrero with potential business entrepreneurs. So without further ado, nō reira, tēnā rā koutou katoa.
Oh, kia ora Hira. Thank you very much for that informative information and business support from Te Puni Kōkiri. We have a few pārtai for you. The first pārtai is, how quickly will I get to talk to someone? Is it days, weeks or months?
Depending on, I guess, what time you call during the day. Generally speaking, we try to respond to any inquiries within the next day, but certainly within the week, should that come through.
Kia ora, thank you. And the next pārtai is, do I have to provide lots of paperwork?
Good question. And I guess we are a government agency, I would say, and we are bound by many regulations, and it is incumbent upon us to go through a due diligence process, and that generally requires, certainly on our part, quite a bit of paperwork. So the process, I guess, is not for the faint-hearted, but we do try to provide as much support as we can around doing that. But yes, there is paperwork required for the process.
Ka pai, thank you, Hira. And the next pārtai is, do you set me up with the training? Do I have to find it myself, or will you help me?
A bit of all of those, to be quite honest. So the support that we provide, I'd like to reiterate that it's, I guess some of it is termed training, but the support we help or enable the business to recruit support is actually very targeted to building the business capability of that particular enterprise. And I only distinguish that from general training even in business, like financial literacy, there are a number of training opportunities, I guess, around those specific items. For example, here in Tairāwhiti, Te Whare Wānanga o Aotearoa provided some very, very good training, small business management training, and also financial management training as well at no cost. So to answer the other parts of the question, in terms of getting in the support required to help the business, in the first instance, we always provide that opportunity for the business concerned to find that support, because often I find that many businesses have already engaged with support providers, business support providers. So we either can leave it up to the business, but we can step in and help if the business isn't aware of who's providing, say, the marketing support they need, or the financial capability building that they need. We can help out there, but in the first instance, we leave that to the business to recruit. I should add to that as well that as part of the due diligence, we do ask the businesses to get at least 2 quotes for the service or the cost of the service they are looking to enlist. And it's like anything, I guess, you know, if you're looking at getting a plumber or an electrician into your whare, you want to make sure that they are the best, and they're going to provide you with a quality service, and also that their charges are, you know, within the benchmark of hourly rates that a tradesman might charge. So likewise, we think it's prudent, I guess, advisable to, you know, to shop around.
Ka pai, thank you very much. That's very informative information there. I'll now hand over to Angela. Kia ora, Hira.
Kia ora.
Thank you, Robin, and yeah, thanks so much, Hira. I think that's a fantastic presentation, and if I can just really encourage anybody to get in contact with yourself or the team at TPK and discuss that growth fund and the opportunity to be able to be supported by you. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I would just like to quickly mention to our audience that if you are not quite ready to take up some of the support available throughout this conference, and you might revisit it in a month or a couple of months, and you don't remember where to go, please head over to Connected. The team there will be able to point you in the right direction. Robin, who you've just seen on screen, is boiling and waiting to help you. So Robin's details are on screen there. Digital Boost are participating in this conference and supporting the ecosystem of supporting the business community on their digital transformation journey. We have an opportunity to showcase your business on our platform. Our platform reaches over 55,000 users. So if you would like your business to showcase as one of our real world stories, please get in touch. Join Digital Boost, have a wee look at the learning platform there, and our free tool Checkable. This will also help support you on your digital transformation journey. It's been a pleasure to host you this afternoon. That does bring our session to a close, and we are finishing up day one shortly at 3:15 with a session hosted by Callaghan Innovation. So please join us for that session. Once again, a huge thank you to TPK for supporting our conference and joining us this afternoon. It's been wonderful to have you. Thank you everybody who's joined us on a live stream or in our webinar here with us this afternoon. We do hope this session has been informative, and we will see you in future sessions. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Thank you.
Kia ora, Angela. Ka kite.
Bye-bye.